We had emphasized prior to the beginning of this month that certain things would be set in motion, and that individuals should attempt to tie up any loose ends concerning old patterns, old methods of doing things in their life, to set aside any animosities, angers, fears that had held one back. And then, pursuant of that, we had these lessons as the formula for not only placing oneself upon the right track again, but also maintaining that track. We also mentioned that from this month onward, it was the beginning of a period of time of approximately 15 years in which each human being would develop paths that would guide their lives. So it has been most important. Now there was something of a grace period. We emphasized the first of the month, but the grace period was approximately 8 days, so that the new pattern began upon the 9th day of this month, and it was timed because of those changes in the heavens where certain aspects of one's life are spotlighted. Now, many astrologers misinterpret a solar eclipse, in this case a partial eclipse, because a full eclipse happened some 7 years ago, 8 years ago. But what it does is show spotlight in life are those areas where change is necessary, and at the same time, that day, to begin those changes of that new pattern, to spotlight any fears, to spotlight any feelings of guilt, to spotlight any areas of weakness in life, and at the same time, blessing be, to make a change. So, contrary to popular opinion, among some various astute astrologers, it is not a malevolent period or a malevolent occurrence. It is a very positive one. For several weeks you will have the time to refine those new patterns, to make them all that you desire, and to see them fixed by the 24th to the 26th of this month, the 24th being the lunar eclipse. Also you see the positive, the negative, the masculine, the feminine energy all within 1 month, bringing all energies to bear, forming that new pattern wherever your life may be. So take the time to refine, as well as define, what those patterns are that you desire in your life for the next 15 years. Because they will be. If you are carrying old patterns into this period of time, then you will repeat them, all of the blunders as well as all of the positive things, which is a very good basis for our conversation this evening of the third step, which is respect. Most human beings do not understand consciously where they are. The time of acting in a conscious manner is upon you. No human being will be allowed to get away with the excuse that they were not aware, that they didn't know, that time has passed. Everyone throughout this world has been told many things concerning the creative source, concerning their birthright. They have the knowledge, it is there. Now one must utilize those tools and act in a very conscious way to, as we said, see clearly, to hear clearly. The energy now is augmented for each human being. There will be a greater proliferation of individuals who will channel information, much the way that beloved Faith does for you now. Those who have been channeling, especially over the past 10 years, that energy will be augmented, will be refined, will be heard as never before throughout the world. Do not underestimate what is happening and bringing that to your life. Begin to understand the concept of respect that is necessary for each of you. Every human being has been given the same information, whether he or she lives in the jungle and has never seen modern civilization, or live on Park Avenue in New York City. It makes no difference. Each human being has been given the information, and now they must act upon it. Each human being on this globe has the opportunity now to know every facet of existence. There are those souls who are new to this level of expression. There are those souls who have journeyed through this level of expression thousands upon thousands times, and the opportunity is now present to know all of those aspects. The souls who are new to this expression may learn all that came before within their own journey of creation. All those who have journeyed here thousands upon thousands of times have the opportunity to know not only all of the aspects of being within an expression on this plane, but also what transpired before this understanding, the concept of continuous, simultaneous time, and all the aspects will be brought to bear that knowledge for one purpose, to help bring about in your lifetime the birth of true Christ consciousness, love consciousness on this plane of existence. Each of you who now hear my voice in this room and elsewhere, each of you have undergone your own rites of passage to be a part of this unfolding, because all of that is yours now, because all of that is within your consciousness now. There is no reason whatsoever, no logical reason why there should be a lack of self-respect. Each of you have undergone tremendous trials and tribulations, because we have at present no new souls to this life expression, and each of those trials and tribulations were of your own choosing in order to learn, to gain knowledge, and that knowledge in turn becoming a prayer of thanksgiving to the creative source. I am sitting among an august body of monks whose every action, every word is a prayer. You carry a great deal of responsibility, a great deal of weight in all of creation, because you, each of you in your own way, have chosen to announce to the world the birth of that Christ consciousness, the rebirth of true love. Rather a hefty duty you have chosen. Each of you, like John, is a harbinger of glad tidings of the Saviour, the Messiah. The difference is that light is not to be in the flesh, in the form of one person, but rather within each of your hearts. And you teach by the example of who you are, not just on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but every day, every hour, every minute of your life. You take the truths, the beliefs that you have, and you know that those beliefs, those truths, set you apart from many human beings, or else you would not be listening to us. You're guided by an unselfishness that is the love for all souls and yourself. With that type of desire, of that self-imposed role in creation, how is it possible for any of you to ever entertain the thought of lack of respect for yourself? Yet, as part of your learning, you have done that in the past. Use the time now, with the knowledge you have, to rectify that, to know that the creative source is respect, that you are children of that creative source. You are at one with it, and therefore, knowing whom you are, knowing your rights of birth, you must exercise that respect in all that you do. Respect who you are as a human being. You can think of many frailties and foibles. You can place yourself in comparison with every other human being, saying you are too thin, you are too fat, you are too poor, you are too rich, although there aren't many of you that could say that you are too dumb, you are too smart, because you do this back and forth. This swaying thinking in terms of only linear time, of either or. You can't think that way anymore. You're going to find it harder and harder. You're thinking of all the possibilities in life, all of the possibilities there are before you. Think consciously of the opportunities for everything that you do. Every day is an opportunity, and you must choose from this myriad of opportunity, and you must respect that choice. You can no longer flagellate yourself for making choices. All of you have done so in the past. You have all said, if only I would have done this. If only I had known, I would have done it better. How do you know? And what does it mean to do it better? Better than what? Understand your purpose. Your purpose was to gather knowledge. Perhaps it was knowledge of jealousy, or envy, or obsession, as well as knowledge of happiness, of joy, of laughter. Each of you have done, to the utmost of your ability within this life expression, all that you could possibly do to bring you to this point in simultaneous time to know these things. Take a moment and think of your whole life, as you understand it in linear time, and all of the things, all of the 1,000 millions of variables that came together to being you to this point this evening, hearing our voice, The truth is that each and every one of you performed that task and gave that gift to yourself. Think how limitless your life is, that it could perform that kind of task, the limitlessness of your own soul. In its quest for knowledge, to be at one with the creative source, everything has brought you to this point, in all of creation. The opportunity to know every aspect of being. That's a wonderful gift. If you know this, would you not give respect to yourself and respect who you are, what you know, and what you continue to desire to know, where you are, what you are doing, where you plan to go? That is an additional gift to you. As this time advances, each of you will see more clearly all aspects of your being, and we will take a moment to explain that so that it might be more clear. For the moment, divest yourselves, if you can, of the understanding of linear time and attempt to think in time simultaneous. We mentioned that time is an ellipsis. Seen from one angle, it appears to be one thin line, with a beginning and an end. Seen in its truth, it is elliptical in shape, with various waves or curves, which occasionally gives the impression of the configuration that is used for an understanding of infinity. These are waves of time, but yet the time is simultaneous. Now within that understanding, then all the things that happen to all souls, who, as you know, were created simultaneously, the same as time, occur simultaneously. Therefore, the concept of past lives loses its meaning and becomes now. Not only that, but all of the aspects of life within the plane of expression exist. Now take a moment to understand all of the choices that you could have made, should have made, and would have made exist simultaneously. All you have done within this life expression is to focus upon one tiny, minute aspect. That, as we explained, is part of the unfolding of the conscious mind in order to maintain the integrity of the human body. But if we expand the role of the conscious mind, then you are able to begin to perceive all of the lives that exist and all of the variables within each of those thousands of lives. Now each one of you does that. Each one of you keep track on a superconscious level of all that information. Would you not give respect to an individual who was able to do that? And what is more is that each of you utilize the knowledge gained from all of that information to propel yourselves further in greater understanding of the concept of the soul and the oneness that is the creative source. I'll bet none of you knew that. Do you realize now how fascinating the soul is? How fascinating each of you is as a human being? And the opportunity is to know now all of the aspects, all of the positive, all of the negative, and everything in between. You might say, well, I don't wish to know that because it's too overwhelming. Well, that's a luxury that you can no longer afford, because by not knowing, by refusing to know, to receive, to hear clearly, humanity has brought creation to the brink of extinction. So you see, the time is past for such luxuries. We use the phrase, and we'll use it again, because we're rather partial to it, that the time of the luxury of blindness has passed. Humanity can no longer afford to live in an unconscious manner, because, you see, it not only entails humanity as you understand it, but all of creation, the other 99 universes, the other thousands, millions, billions of planets, the other trillions of souls. So all of this is occurring, and you might think perhaps that this is an undue burden upon humanity. Well, that might be true, provided that someone other than humanity has chosen it. But it was humanity, in its own omnipotent awareness, that has chosen this role. There are no victims. There are no accidents. It all occurs now. You can see this energy, this movement in every way, every day in your life. None of you should be surprised at what is occurring. So in order to keep yourselves on track, we have begun to give information concerning the various steps that can be taken to maintain the integrity of your own path and to assure the following of that chosen path. The first was honesty, the second, truth or beliefs, and the third now, respect. Respect the choices you make for yourself. Be aware of what you are choosing and conscious of why you are choosing it. You cannot blame the butcher, the baker. You cannot blame mother or father, the boss, or anyone else for what is occurring in your own path, your own life expression. Respect yourself for taking responsibility for your own life. Your life was not created arbitrarily by the creative source. Surprised? Your life was created by that creative source with your agreement, because you as a soul existed first in perfect thought. That is the creative source, and by that process you gave permission to life. Therefore, you are responsible for that life. Therefore, you must respect the divinity of yourself. Those who do not respect their own knowledge and their own divinity will find themselves in quite a muddle, and placing their human life in mortal jeopardy. But even then, they will have choices, opportunities. Even then, the opportunity for total awareness will exist. Even then, there is divine hope. Respect self, and then respect the right of other souls to make their own choices, which returns you to the basis, creation, one of the universal laws of creation, total non-judgmental, love of all aspects of self and others. The second, total acceptance of all aspects of self and all others. Each soul must respect the right of all other souls to make their own choices. You must also maintain respect for your decision, not to agree necessarily with the choices that other souls make. That is your right. But by the same token, you cannot judge, because if you judge another, you condemn yourself. If you condemn yourself, you, in essence, attempt to rebel against the first commandment given to Moses, and you set yourself as a god above the creative source. For to condemn another is to reject the Christ within your own heart and the creative source, and of course that is impossible. You are not greater than the whole, each of you, because of who you are and what each of you have accomplished for yourselves, should stand the way a pure spirit originally stood 10 feet tall. Realize that you are, once again for many of you, crusaders, that you carry the banner of love that is creation, held tightly in your hand above the multitude, and that banner is life and love, and each of you chose it. You must respect yourselves for the role you have undertaken, and you guide by your example, through the truths in which you believe, by the honesty of your feelings and your expressions. You maintain life through the food that is honesty, truth, respect, justice, and love. Know what you have accomplished. Welcome all of the aspects. Acknowledge all of the aspects of who you are, and share it. Do not be afraid when you learn of what you might consider negative existence. In order to be whole, in order to be at perfect balance, perfect harmony, and perfect justice, one must know both positive and negative. It is only energy that has been expressed for whatever reason in order to gain knowledge. That is another reason why you cannot sit in judgment of another, because the deeds, the most dastardly deeds of any human being, are also your own. The most glorious deeds of any human being are yours likewise. That is the point of existence, to know all there is, for the creative source is energy. Total negativity, total positivity, the equal balance, that force that moves through creation. That is creation, an overwhelming power, and that same power is yours. All you need do to have it, to utilize, is to open your heart. You begin by opening your heart to yourself through these 5 steps. It allows you to know the greatness of your own being. Use it, augment it, love it dearly. Now, we think that we are coming close to the time of ending, and we do not wish to begin the next lesson. We would mention once again the importance of this particular month. Do not be discouraged in any way. Some of you may have found various patterns in your life where there is some alarm that has been shown through events, either happening or not happening. Think back to the end of last month and all of the things that seem to come full circle, all of the patterns that emerge that were brought to your awareness, and take conscious, constructive steps in creating, truly, the life that you desire for yourself within the new knowledge that you now have. Do not fear our statement concerning the path of 15 years. 15 years, dear friends, is not even a whole grain of sand upon the beach that is creation. It gives you an opportunity to know, to see with greater vision, how you wish to conduct your life and the rewards that are possible for you. Utilize this time for yourself. Feel an exuberance, an enthusiasm for life, and respect who you are. You are a child with all of the rights and privileges of the creative source. Now, until such time as we shall meet again, may the love and light of that creative source be forever on your lips and in your mind and in your heart, and may you begin this evening to dance with joy, letting your hearts expand and grow and your eyes fill with tears of joy and happiness. And every action that you do, let it be known that those actions and all thoughts are now consecrated as a prayer of thanksgiving to the creative source. Our blessings to you and all whom you love and cherish.